Sweden is a competitive, open, mixed economy. The vast majority of Swedish enterprises are privately owned and market-oriented. There's also a strong welfare state, with public sector spending accounting for up to 3/5 of GDP. In 2014, the percentage of national wealth owned by the government was 24%. The economy of Sweden is a highly developed, export-oriented economy, aided by timber, hydropower, and iron ore. These constitute the resource base of an economy oriented towards foreign trade. The main industries include motor vehicles, telecommunications, pharmaceuticals, industrial machines, precision equipment, chemical goods, home goods, and appliances, forestry, iron, and steel. Traditionally, Sweden's economy relied on modern agricultural economy that employed over half the domestic workforce. Today, Sweden further develops engineering, mine, steel, and pulp industries, which are competitive internationally, as evidenced by companies such as Ericsson, ASEA, ABB, SKF, Alfa Laval, AGA, and Dyno Nobel. Sweden's per capita gross national product, GNP, is among the highest in the world, but so are its taxes. Most enterprises are privately owned and market-oriented, but when transfer payments such as pensions, sick pay, and child allowances are included, roughly 3/5 of gross domestic product, GDP, passes through the public sector. Education, healthcare, and childcare costs are primarily met by taxation. Government involvement in the distribution of national income, however, diminished over the last 2 decades of the 20th century. With the value of exports amounting to about 1/3 of its GDP, the economy of Sweden is highly dependent on free international trade to maintain its living standard. In 1991, Sweden attached its currency, the krona, to the ECU, the European Currency Unit, replaced in 1999 by the euro. But in 1992, Sweden abandoned its peg to the ECU and allowed the krona valuation to float. The Swedish economy is projected to recover in 2024, with the expansion gathering pace in 2025. Domestic demand is driving the turnaround thanks to continued disinflation, easier financing conditions, and still strong external competitiveness supporting exports. Inflation is expected to fall to just below 2% in 2025. The labor market is set to improve only in 2025. Public finances are projected to weaken further in 2024, but the deficit is expected to decrease somewhat in 2025. The general government gross debt ratio is set to rise slightly in 2024, albeit from a comparative low level, and is expected to resume its long-standing downward trend in 2025, reaching just above 31% of GDP. Sweden's agriculture. Less than 1/10 of Sweden's land area is under cultivation. Most arable land is found in southern Sweden, but there are arable parcels up to the Arctic Circle. Wheat, barley, sugar beets, oilseeds, potatoes, and staple vegetables dominate in the south, while in the north, hay and potatoes are the main crops. In Sweden as a whole, animal agriculture is more significant than cereal farming. Resources and power. Wood, metallic ores, and water power constitute the historical basis for Sweden's industrial economy. The country is lacking in fossil fuels and must rely on imports for its needs. Hydroelectric power is used to a high degree, but provides only about half of the electric energy needed. Most of the rest is derived from nuclear power. Sweden is well endowed with mineral resources. In the Boliden area of Norrland, a wide range of metals, including gold, copper, lead, and zinc, are mined. The copper, silver, and iron ore deposits of central Sweden either have been largely exhausted or are unprofitable to extract. Manufacturing. Manufacturing is export-oriented and produces the bulk of Sweden's export income. Nevertheless, the number of workers employed in private industry is smaller than the number of public employees. Sweden is a major world exporter of forest products. Timber is transported via a dense road and rail network. Sawmills and pulp and paper factories process the forest products. Swedish manufacturers produce a variety of wood products, including paper, boards, and prefabricated houses and furniture. The economy of Sweden depends on engineering, including the automotive industry, which is by far the largest manufacturing industry, producing about half of the industrial value added. The automotive and aerospace industries have their main plants in south-central Sweden. Electric and electronics. The electric and electronics industry is concentrated in Stockholm and Västerås. Stockholm is a leading center for production of communication equipment. The pharmaceutical and biological industries are rapidly expanding fields, located near leading medical research centers. The construction sector and the food processing industry also play increasingly important roles. Trade in Sweden's economy. Exports account for 1/3 of Sweden's GDP. The emphasis has shifted from the export of raw materials and semi-manufactured products, pulp, steel, sawn wood, to finished goods, dominated by engineering products and increasingly high technology and chemical and biotechnology. Together, Germany, the United Kingdom, Norway, Finland, and Denmark account for about 2/5 of Sweden's export market. In 2024, given the usual delayed response in an economic slowdown, the deficit is projected to increase somewhat to 1.4% of GDP. The main drivers are weakening growth in tax revenue and increased expenditure on social transfers to households, in particular on index-linked pensions in the regional and municipal subsector. The last measures to mitigate the impact of high energy prices, representing less than 0.1% of GDP, are being phased out in 2024. This notwithstanding, energy taxes on petrol have been reduced, adding to a fiscal cost of 0.1% of GDP in 2023 and 0.2% annually in 2024 and 2025. Interest costs are estimated to broadly stabilize in 2024 and come down somewhat in 2025. Government investment is expected to remain strong over the forecasted horizon, notably mirroring outlays on defense and correctional facilities. With the economy strengthening in 2025, the deficit is expected to slightly decrease to just below 1% of GDP based on unchanged policies. The general government gross debt ratio is projected to rise somewhat to 32% of GDP in 2024 before falling slightly in 2025. Does Sweden have a great history of saving its economy and being a rich and stable economy? What do you think? How do we do? If we missed something, please say in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.